Hello YouTube. Um I wanted to talk about a movie that I watched earlier this evening, and I actually did some videos and it went on my camera, but I was like, let me just do it on my phone. The camera is like fuzzy. I gotta work on it, but I'm just used to my phone. But in between that, I had received some news, and I know I talk about different men that I've dealt with. Unfortunately, one of the men passed away from cancer, and I feel like shit because I just was talking about him to y'all the other night. I didn't mention his name, but he actually, with the Ashanti and Nelly thing, it had me thinking there were two men from my past that I would have given a second chance, and he was one of them. Even though he lied and he was a motherfucker, and yeah, I would have given him a second chance just to see, you know what I mean? And it's like, I never will forget the how we ended wasn't on good terms, and it's a little hurtful to me because he literally caught cancer 3 years after I told him to stop talking to me, and passed away that following year. And so it just makes me so, I can't help but to wonder, like, I know he wasn't very spiritual. The crazy thing is, he's one particular person we talked about death extensively. And I remember one time he was like, well, why are you talking about dying? Da, da, da. I said, well, dying is a part of life. And I did tell him, I was like, the lifestyle you live in, is going to get caught up to you, karma's a bitch. And, anybody could catch cancer and die. I could catch cancer and pass away, God forbid. But I could only imagine, it said that he had a girlfriend that he was staying with. That might have been after me, because it did say they got together 2015. So that was after me. But I just can't help but to wonder, if I would have stayed in his life, if I would have never cut him off, I just really wonder, like, how things would have been if we would have ended on a better note. And I just wanted to say that to my YouTubers, like, it's important to tell people how you feel, right or wrong. And I could rest easy. Like, tonight I'm not getting no rest, obviously. I just got the news tonight. And then this person I used to work with, how I met him, I used to work with his friend, and we're friends on Facebook, and he never told me, oh, he passed away. I guess he didn't know, like, how I felt about him, but he knew how I felt about, so I could rest easy because I told him that I loved him when he was alive, and I treated him damn good. So, and I think that's the message I want to send tonight, is treat others how you want to be treated, and tell them how you feel. Even if y'all are not official, that's one thing that my son taught me. They say that, they say parents are child first teacher, but sometimes our children teach us stuff too. And one thing I love about my son, everybody says he's such a loving child. I'm loving, but I'm not affectionate. My son is very affectionate. Right on up until he was 13, 14, he'd be like hugging a kiss before bed, hugging a kiss before bed. And he always says, I love you, to everybody, even his teachers, because you just don't know when the last time you're going to see that person. And I know that I could rest easy and I could feel good, because I always, I told him that I loved him, because I did. And so I could think about the positive side. He was like the most intelligent guy to this day that I've ever met. He had a very beautiful body. It's shocking that he caught cancer, because I was under the impression that cancer was caught by processing food, like school food or McDonald's or something. This man lived in the gym, okay? When we went out to eat, he would eat, but he was cautious of what he ate. So, but he got it in the brain. So, it's just, this cancer thing is no joke. Like him, I would never think he would catch cancer. Like, it's just so sad. And then the fact that he caught it and died 1 year after. That's exactly what happened to Farrah Fawcett. That's exactly what, and she worked out. That I know from Charlie's Angels. Like, she was on point with her body and her health. And Shannon Doherty, she also passed away from cancer, had it for 1 year and died. So this cancer thing is like, it's serious. And just try to, we hear it all the time, but life is really short, man. He was only 36 when he died. You know, born in 1981, died in 2016. It's just really sad. You know, when a classmate dies, it's like, oh, too bad. When your grandmother dies, that's one thing, but somebody that I cared for, somebody that I dated, we never made it official, but I did love him. I did. But to know that somebody that I cared for deeply is gone, it's just a difference. You know, now I know what, you know, God forbid if one of my ex-boyfriends died, that would be, you know, really sad to hear. But I mean, we spent that close, you know, like I told y'all in previous videos, you know, we never got physical because I didn't trust him. You know, he lied about a lot of things. He was a ladies' man. It's just crazy because he, out of all people, we talked about death extensively. Like, we talked about the afterlife. I asked him, did he believe in God? He was like, yeah, everybody believes in God. When you get into problems and whatever, you say, oh God. I said, no, but you need to start believing in, you know, I try to introduce God to him. You know, I didn't sleep with him, so I don't know if he remembered me before he passed away, but I just hope that, you know, he gave his life to God, because yeah, it's just crazy. Because I talked to some people about death, but him in particular, I remember we talked about it a lot, just because like my uncle had passed away the same year that I met him. So it was still, I was still grieving. It was heavy on my mind, and we would talk about it. And I know he might have been a little turned off by it, but he's not thinking, oh, you know, whatever. But it's a lot. And, you know I'm going to be calling everybody and venting this whole week because it's a loss. And I didn't know about it. Like, this is 8 years later, and I'm just now finding out, you know, that somebody I cared about is not here anymore. And, you know, and it's, life is short. I'm like, damn, you know. Usually, like, people, you know, when they in their 50s, 60s, like, I'm sure, like, my mom, guys that she previously dated are probably not here no more, but I'm only 35, you know, and to know that, I mean, there's other people that have passed away, like I said, from my high school. A whole lot of people, unfortunately, passed away from my high school, but I wasn't close to them, you know, so it's a different type of grieving. Or my grandmother died in 2006, you know, yeah. So I can't stress that enough, you know, just your family, your friends, your boo thing, just tell them how you feel. Even if you think it's premature to tell a person you love them, tell them. They need to know it. They need to hear it. And that's something that my son taught me from, my son started saying that at 3-4 years old. I love you. He says it to everybody, his teachers, his, you know, And I didn't teach him that. He just, that's how you know, like, children are literally a blessing from God, because my son taught me how to be affectionate. I was never an affectionate person. I was never hugs and kisses, and I was never that, because I wasn't taught that. But my son taught me that. My son taught me how to love. My son taught me how to say I love you to people I care about. I don't like saying I love you to a man, because sometimes they want to take advantage, but I care, you know, is important. Or, you know, or at least you show them that so they can know. And that's so important. I can't stress that enough. Can't stress that enough. But I really wanted to talk about the movie that I saw, 10 Toes Down. Oh, 10 Toes Down. That movie is everything, y'all. Let me tell you. So the scene that I put up is about a lady. She's married unhappily with herself, because that's a good man. She come home from work, he cooking, he cleaning. What more can you ask for, right? So he's close to his mom, and that bothers her, because she's not close to her mom. So I put up a scene there that where she's a little rude, and I wanted to know people's opinions about it or whatever. And so as the movie progresses, the man that she's having an affair with, he kills his wife. She assists him in trying to make it look like a suicide. A suicide. So stupid her goes along with it, puts the pills in her mouth, takes the pills home in her house. So then they have a scene in there where it's called probable cause. And I wanted to briefly talk about that. So probable cause, probable cause was in my textbook. And basically, if a cop fell away, they can come to your house without a warrant. And that's something that people don't know. People, oh, that's against the law. No, if I'm a cop and I think you have weed in your car, I have a right to stop you. It's called probable cause. You guys can look it up. So they have probable cause to look and search the home, and they found the pill bottle. So the medical examiner said in the court how the pills were stuffed in her mouth. It was not in her system. So that was stupid. And then she tells her husband, oh, I love him and we're done and we don't have anything. And she was just being so delusional, because even when she told her friend about this guy that she was having an affair with, she was telling her, like, first of all, you're married, you have a good man, and then this dude that you messing with, he don't care nothing about you. Like, he's a narcissist. Like, he's a narcissist, whatever. And so she's like, oh, blah blah blah, you know, XYZ. And she just gets sucked into his lies, web of lies. And he actually suffocated his wife because she wanted a divorce. So the mother, you know, she would pop up at the house. This is what made the wife so stupid. Not just for cheating and believing the side dude, but she let the side dude come over the house. Imagine that. He never let her come to his house. He was smart enough for that. But she let him come to the house instead of a hotel. And the mother-in-law saw all of that, because remember, she got time on her hands. And then check this out. So the mother is a therapist. She's a shrink. And her client, or a patient, I guess you could say, was her daughter-in-law side nigga wife. Dun dun dun. So you know, it's just a crazy story, because it's like, it's good that the mother was nosy. It's good that the mother was on to the daughter. Because let me tell y'all, sometimes when your mama don't like somebody, it's for a good reason. Because at the end of the day, especially if the relationship you and your mother have, if it's positive, then you should listen to your mother when it comes to a friend, a significant other. But I digress. So the end result of it is, of course, he turns on her. He gets her the best lawyer in town, but he's having an affair with her, and in the end he gets with the lawyer. So she's smart. She starts to notice like the lawyer's not defending her, she's not cross-examining. And anybody who knows court, your defense attorney is supposed to cross-examine, supposed to put you on the stand, supposed to defend you. So if somebody says something, they're supposed to object, Your Honor. They're supposed to defend you. That's their job as a defense attorney. So she noticed that this lawyer was not doing her job, and she was telling him this. You know, he gave her a cell phone. He's like, yo, she know what she doing, X, Y, and Z. And when you watching it, you could see like, he got something up his sleeve, because if you know court, you know that she was onto something. Like, yeah, at some point, even though you're in the orange suit, you're supposed to have a chance to testify, unless if you're told otherwise. Now, sometimes your attorney will tell you not to testify, but that's only in like, I'm trying to think of a scenario. I can't think of any right now, but there are scenarios where a person would tell you not to testify, you know. So, you know, yeah, so she starts to notice that, and then she's like, he's lying. That, I saw that coming, because it's like, you could tell he ain't care about her. You could tell like he was never going to leave his wife, and he got mad and suffocated her, and the only reason why he brought her over there is to blame because he's not trying to go to jail. Why not put it on her, and then he could still have his other woman too, you know. So watching the movie, it was so good, because when you watch it, it just looks like an ordinary Tubi movie. Like, some Tubi movies are good, but some of them are a little cheesy. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, what kept me watching it was the fact that they started having an affair. So I'm like, ooh, this is getting juicy, you know. And then the guy that's the side nigga, he actually was in another movie, and I forget the name of that one, but that one was really good. And he was related to someone. So basically, it was about a cheating husband, and the woman had left him, but then he started messing with her, and it was just a whole big setup, whatever. But the previous movie he was in, it was good. So when I saw him in this, I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be good, because he's good, and yeah, he plays the villain. So when you watching it, I did not feel bad for the wife at all, the daughter-in-law, because you had a good husband, you had a good thing going. The only flaw he had is he spent a little bit too much time with his mom, but y'all could have worked that out. That's easy. It's not like he was coming home and being lazy. This man literally came home and was like, okay, let me take a shower and I could still spend time with you. She's like, no, I'm gonna drink this wine and I'm gonna go to bed. Yo, at least he's trying to spend time with you. Like, I just hated her in that movie. Like, oh my God, like, you're a spoiled brat. You got a good husband and you cheating on him for what? Like, most of the time in these movies, the women have a reason to cheat, but she just was cheating for literally no reason. Like, she was such a horrible wife in this. And you know, the way she treated him when she was in jail, she's in Orange, and she's telling him, oh, I'm with him, and he got money, and what do we have, a couple of thousand in the bank and a house, da 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 da. And it's like, what? Like, what? Like, that shows you just never loved him, because why is it so easy for you to give up on your marriage? Like, she was willing to give it up to be with some dude. She was in jail because of him. Like, he could have bailed her out. And I'm like, yo, she is so dumb in this movie. Like, she was a good actress, because I hated her. Like, they say when you hate a person, like, yeah, like, I think she's a first-time actress too. I've never seen her in no other Tubies or any other movies. But yeah, it was crazy because it just shows the ungratefulness. It just shows the she was like, oh, she feel alone. You feel alone because you so jealous of your man's relationship with his mom that instead of you treating her like mom and trying to get with the program, you just sabotaging your own blessing. And that's what I really wanted to talk about. Like, you got people who their self-esteem is so low that they don't think that they deserve you. Like, I thought it was just men, but no, women do it too, evidently. And you're gonna mess up a good thing because he spends time with his mother and his sisters. Like, what? But the way it ends is she was telling her ex-husband there's a pink book that a journal that she wrote in or whatever, and he wanted her to get it. So he's like, I can't do that, that's burglary. But catch this is how they got it, because his mom knew about the whole thing anyway, because that was her patient, right? So they kind of like low-key set her up, and she was like, no, we gonna let her stay in jail for a little bit more, and then I'm gonna give a clue to expose everything. So they kind of set her up, her husband or whatever, and you can't help but to feel vindicated that they did that because she assisted in a murder. Now, some of y'all may watch it and say, oh, the husband was foul too. But guess what? If she would have never cheated on him, if she would have never assisted with the murder, because this woman had sex with the man with his dead wife in the bed. I never seen nothing like that. I'm like, yo, people do that? Now, it's a crime and a sin, I'm pretty sure, but it's a crime to have sex with a corpse. It is. You can go to jail for a long time for that. But she was having sex with him right next to his wife's dead body. Like, that's disgusting. The house is so big, but that's what they did. And she had a nerve to shut her eyes right in the woman's bed, right next to the woman. And it's like, what? And then she like, oh, let's make it look like a suicide. That was her idea. And he was like, oh, we can't go to the police, da 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 da. She's like, it was an accident, right? Because he's telling her, oh, self-defense. She's so stupid, because how the hell is it self-defense? Look how big he is. Like, he was a big dude with biceps and triceps, and the wife was like my size. So how the hell is it self-defense? That's like me getting into it with, and he wasn't a big dude, but just imagine a man who's 5'10", possibly 6 foot, that goes to the gym every day. I don't go to the gym. I'm a little I'm a little thickums, but I can't beat no man that got triceps and biceps. You know what I'm saying? So God forbid if something happens to me, I would hope that people have common sense, like the self-defense against Crystal. Look how little Crystal is compared to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, just thinking about it, like if it was a real life story, God forbid if, because most of the guys I date, they are, muscle, whatever. And it's like something happens to me. I hope people are smart enough to know, like, self-defense against Crystal. Look how small she is to you. Yeah, she's tall, but so and she believed it like an idiot. She believed it. She believed he was going to leave. He was never going to leave his wife. And she wanted a divorce, and he's like, how do you think I feel, da 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 da, being narcissistic and selfish. Like, how do you think she feels and you cheating on her? And he's like, I love you, da 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 da. Yeah, right. And you messing with all these women? No. But the movie is so good, y'all, and there's so many moral lessons to learn. Mama knows best in this case, and even though the mother and the husband set her up, good, because she was an accessory to the crime. And if the truth was to really come out, she would still go to jail because you assisted him in the murder. You assisted. You put the pills in her mouth. You had sex with him next to the corpse. Like, that in itself is a crime. That in itself, you knew she was dead, and instead of you saying, I don't want to be a part of this, and running out like a normal person, you the one who thought it with the scheme of, let's make it look like a suicide. Then you had the pills in your house. Guilty as sin. And those are my thoughts.